Well, hello there, Commonwealth. This is Great Grandpa Gamer. Have you ever built a parking lot over 10 Pines Bluff? Well, I'm raising my hand right now. You can't see me doing it. But the last 2 times I built the settlement, it looked like a parking lot. Red Rocket Homesteader did a build recently that just inspired me to forget all my old building techniques and just let the land speak for itself. Make sure I don't cover up the walls, those broken down walls. Even the bushes are important, and leave the trees up. This is the first large structure in the settlement. And after we remove our parking lot, we'll get to building it. Yes, I built this about 7 months ago, and I've been sitting on it. And the more time that passed, the less I liked it. So everything I placed in 10 Pines Bluff had to go, and the farm had to come back. Yep, time to start building again, from scratch. That's called a shiller, a shelf on a pillar. I love that thing. And because of the shiller, it makes the Wallinator 2000 work very easily. I'm sorry for that silly name. But that crazy device is a way for us to make half walls very quickly and not be limited to what the game provides us. So I lay down a bunch of flooring pieces, and I'm going to snap shack railings to it. I'm going to see how many I can fit on here. I can fit a corner, and a few other pieces. And I'm going to need to be at least half a floor away from my origin snapping piece. So that one piece right there on the end, that'll be my origin snapping piece. Now, if I'd have been smart when I filled in these gaps, I would have used a different shack railing, but no, Great Grandpa is not so smart sometimes. Okay, let's remove the flooring pieces. We'll keep the origin point out there. Everything else gets moved. And we're half a floor away, so our group select will not catch that origin piece. And we'll just raise this whole mess of railing up out of the way. Let's raise it a little bit higher. Make sure we don't accidentally collide with the next layer of the flooring. Now I'm going to put a roof on top of my half walls, and the time to snap something is right now. I can't snap later. And it doesn't interfere with us making the half walls either. Now I got to thinking about the group selects. I'm going to be group selecting half walls. And it occurred to me that that large floor piece I snapped into place at the top of the half walls was going to cause a whole bunch of group selects to happen, much more than I intend. So I like to just put one of the quarter pieces. Yes, when I group select that half wall, it won't bring the whole end of the structure with me. Okay, we're moving a bit faster now. I think you all got the idea. And one more layer to the piece with the floor attached above. Make it approximately the same height. I can remove the connected tissue that helped with our group select. And now these are individual wall pieces. Speaking of walls, I targeted this gap between the rock walls to start my structure. Actually ended up being a really good spot. We'll put an upper shack floor. I love those things because you can snap roof pieces and floors to that. Now that we have an upper floor up here, we can get rid of those smaller pieces. And we'll finish off the roof over here. Good deal. Now we can start placing our half walls in there. Let's see. You saw that I left a corner piece. Yeah. I fit right in. I'm just scattering these around wherever it pleases me. I definitely had to build a few more before it was all said and done. A thought occurred to me that I wanted to get to the next building easily. And I decided I wanted a ramp. So ramps like to snap to scaffolds. So I allowed the scaffolds to dictate where the next building floor would start. There we go. A ramp will fit right there in between the two of them. Good enough. Now we'll make sure we place our floor. That's a floor piece I'm snapping to the scaffold piece. I can remove the scaffold. Let's put the ramp in place while I can still move around here. There we go. And before I take that floor piece out, I'll snap a shack foundation to it. We are above the wall, which I wanted to at least maintain. All right. We didn't cover it with concrete. That was a goal. Okay, we can replace our upper shack floor. We're in business. So the next building will start from that raised foundation. Let's put some pillars in here. I put a half pillar on the roof, then I snapped a long pillar to it, and then a half pillar underneath. And if you get rid of that, your pillar goes up to the roof and no further. That's how I'm going to do most of the supports for this building. That right there made me decide that I wanted to reinforce my half walls by putting a pillar right on the edges. And doing that when there was a roof above was as easy as pie. Yeah, it was coming along really, really nicely. I was enjoying this part. Until I wasn't. As easy as this part is, the upper shack floors posed a little bit more of a challenge. So while I was thinking about it, I threw a little bit of light on the situation. Okay, this one's still easy because it doesn't have one of my manufactured half walls there. This one was hard. Grandpa's pillar trick did not work when there's a combination of the half wall and the upper shack floor. So I used a pillar to raise the pillar up to the upper shack floor and then snapped it on down. Planning on putting a guard station up there before I do too much construction. It's a good idea to put that radar tent in place. And let's add a loft to the building. Have you all done that? Kind of built in a big circle to make a piece get to where you want it to be? Again, hindsight is 20/20 vision. If I had decorated this thing before I got it up so high, it would have been easier. Yeah, y'all could be smarter than me, all right? I think that'll work. Adds a little bit of interest and gives us an entryway. There we are. Couple of pillars in the regular old place made it look like an entryway. Let's finish supporting that radar tent. There's one pole that's floating in midair. So with the rug glitch, I matched a radar pole to the tent. Looks like it was meant to be. We're gonna make another hay bale floor. You may have seen me do this before. I just put a whole bunch of hay bales on a rubber mat, and I'll use a pillar to lower it into place. I can still see my rock walls. That's turning out nice. And because the hay bale is kind of organic, I don't mind that the weeds and brush come through the bottom. Seems like they belong there. That's literally going to happen. Hey friends, we'll finish up our hay bale and we'll finish up part 1 of our build. I can't thank you enough for joining me. Hopefully it's been useful to you. Learned a few new tricks. We've got some more fun stuff coming up with the rest of the build. But in the meantime, I want you to have a fantastic day. Bye-bye now.